Mackenzie Holmes for IU, the player to watch. The center is 17 points away from breaking the all-time record at Indiana. Holmes wins the tip-off against Mary Ashley Stevenson, and the Hoosiers control it to start. Here's Lexus Bargesser. They feed to Holmes right away. She's against Stevenson, the freshman. Holmes, left hand, got it.
They're looking to get her going early, Zion, and I don't blame them whatsoever.
It's been 10 straight wins for Indiana over Purdue. Terry with the ball for the Boilers, and a foul is going to be called, offensive foul. Terry Moore in her 10th year with IU, the all-time winningest coach in the history of this program. As they set up a play for Scalia, but right on it are the Boilermakers. Down low, Garzone versus Terry. Into Bargesser, 12-foot J. Good. As Purdue has made an early sub, Madison Layden with 2 fouls, so they bring in Rashonda Jones. And Jones has it in the corner now. Feed to Stevenson. Going against Garzone. Stevenson up and around Garzone.
Broken nose, no problem for her. She's been cooking ever since she put the mask on, averaging about 13.5 points since she put the mask on just a few games ago.
Mary Ashley Stevenson got surgery on that nose on Tuesday, but has not missed a beat. Kick out pass, Garzone open for the Hoosiers. Off back iron, but tracked down again by Bargesser. Down to Holmes, who is swarmed in foul. We look at Gerald's again, her team already committing 3 early fouls here in this first quarter. Hoosiers lead by 2 with the basketball. They get it into Scalia. She fires right away. Sara Scalia, the sharpshooter, does what she does best.
I mean, she's one of the best.
IU hit 15 threes in the first matchup between these two teams. As Ellis goes to work against Moore-McNeil and banks it through. Abby Ellis, the leading scorer on this Boilermakers squad. Holmes in the post. She scored the first 2 points of this game. Good defense that time by Caitlin Harper.
Yeah, that's a great stop from Harper. Holmes is certainly not an easy person to stop there on the low block.
Now Harper, a shooting threat, has it outside. They get it back to Rashonda Jones. Jones looking for some space in the mid-range. Back out to Stevenson. The rainbow 3 drops. Some 2-woman action. And Moore-McNeil steps into the mid-range, Jay, here.
Indiana may be starting to go away from Mackenzie Holmes just a little bit on that low block, but when you have so many different scorers that can do it from all 3 levels on the floor, it just makes you so dangerous.
Abby Ellis, not that time on the 3. And the Hoosiers look to push. What they did so often against Michigan State on Thursday. They find Moore-McNeil open back-to-back. Buckets for Moore-McNeil. And if Moore-McNeil is headed to the same place as Berger's at, it's a good sign, but Purdue answers on the other end with Caitlin Harper. And similar to the game in West Lafayette a few weeks ago between these two, we've got a 3-point shootout, Joe.
When it rains, it pours. That's the feeling so far.
Garzone can't hit, but she will go to the foul line.
I mean, it's perfect. You should have seen the line today 2 hours before tip-off outside the stadium. It was a sight to see, and Indiana fans certainly love Terry Moore.
They have embraced this program that has gotten better and better year after year now in her 10th season as the head coach. Moore-McNeil harassing Jones, so she gives it to Harper. Harper trying to go to work on Mackenzie Holmes, and Holmes is called for the foul. And she said they wanted to attack Mackenzie Holmes defensively. Now that she's a poor defender,
you get her in foul trouble as well. And if you take Mackenzie Holmes out of this ball game, it really changes the course.
Scalia is going to take it off the dribble this time. Runner goes. Ellis has it as the shot clock winding down for Purdue. She's going to have to put this up. Does she realize it? She flips it up, and it just rolls off. Scalia racing down the court for Indiana, and she gets swatted by Smith, but a foul called on Jayla Smith. Just one of the best all-around shooters in America.
And she's another player on this Indiana team that really took a big step this year. I mean, when you lose a player like Grace Berger to the WNBA draft, I mean, that production's got to come from somewhere, and she's really stepped up.
The announcer jinx was just on time as she didn't miss the second free throw, and now Mary Ashley Stevenson rolls home the layup.
She's just playing aggressive. I mean, she's looking for open space.
Fresh into the game, Lene Beaumont gives to Scalia. Handoff Bargesser. Bargesser has the switch on Harper, but kicks it back out to Scalia. Scalia gets blitzed into Mackenzie Holmes, double teamed, doesn't matter. So now Jones will get a screen, and she took an extra step.
Comes a lot easier for the defense to slow them down.
So with 2 seconds, they inbound straight to Holmes. The jumper does not fall for Mackenzie Holmes, and that's how this first quarter comes to an end. Indiana 18. The younger sister of Madison to inbound. Both are in the game now. McKenna in the right corner, Madison in the left to start the second quarter. Janae Terry at the elbow, hands off to Abby Ellis. Ellis up top, back to Terry. They tried to feed it down low to Caitlin Harper, ball on the ground. It's going to be a tie-up heading to Indiana.
The offensive glass is certainly a category you don't want to be losing in.
Garzone, fall away shot, gets the friendly bounce. McKenna Layden, as Indiana just not letting Purdue get anywhere. Ellis does get inside, but can't finish over Bargesser. Seen some tremendous stops by the Hoosiers.
Yeah, they've had great defense both inside and out.
And Chloe Moore-McNeil continues with the hot hand. She has 8 points off 2 trays and another mid-range jumper. Now this Assembly Hall crowd starting to put it on, but a nice slip and a pass to McKenna Layden for 2 of the easiest points she'll have all year. Scalia takes it baseline, swing it up top. Garzone will try from deep. Yarden Garzone hits the Hoosiers' 4th 3 of the day.
And it's really scary to think about how well this Indiana team could be shooting the ball if they still had Sydney Parrish. I mean, in a game like this where they're collapsing the inside and you have Bargesser on the perimeter, a girl that's, 3 of 9 all season long from downtown, that helps Purdue a little bit. But when you have so many girls to slow down, it can oftentimes feel like a tall task.
Parrish missing her 6th straight game with a foot injury. The first game was that Purdue game 3 weeks ago, and she has not returned since. But that's okay because they have Mackenzie Holmes, who scores another bucket for Indiana. She's up to 6 points. Terry initiates for Purdue. Finds Layden. They try to get the slip pass to Harper this time. Deflected, but it finds the other Layden, McKenna Layden, with another easy layup for her.
Yeah, and very similar play designs like we just saw. And Boilermakers saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Moore-McNeil going to her weak hand, now finds the left side and rolls one through. Jones now on the fast break, splits 2 defenders, and is called for an offensive foul. Drew the foul on Rashonda Jones.
And that's just great defensive discipline, knowing where you are on the floor, outside the restricted area, setting up for it.
Bargesser tries to get around Stevenson. She does. Those are her 2nd basket of the game. Now up to 4 points for Indiana. Long ball drops. Sara Scalia comes off the screen, launches, put too much on it, and Abby Ellis tracks it down for Purdue. There's Madison Layden getting it over to Stevenson. Stevenson finishes straight through the contact as Lamandola tried to draw another after just having a career-high 25 points and 9 rebounds in the overtime dub over Illinois. So she hits the free throw to finish the 3-point play. Purdue's got this down to an 8-point game. Moore-McNeil into Scalia in the corner. Scalia rejects the screen and rolls it home with the reverse layup.
Yeah, that's a great move. She just lost the weak side help with that little hesitation. And it was a clear path to the iron, just like that.
Speaking of a clear path, Sophie Swanson, these freshmen for Purdue, are getting the job done. 15 points between Stevenson and Swanson. And it's a 6-point game.
Purdue's offense really starting to find a rhythm, Zion. They made 6 of their last 8 field goal attempts.
Amendola straight into Lily Meister. Meister against Harper. Just a tad too strong. Against Stevenson, rather.
Yeah, it looked like she might have pulled the... Oh, great block. Good defense.
Swanson was feeling confident again. A heat check, but she had it swatted. Now, Rashonda Jones harassing Chloe Moore-McNeil, but she gets it across and finds Bargesser. Up to Scalia. She rejects another screen, but this time the offense resets with Moore-McNeil. Scalia with the back, has to step back, shot clock winding down, it doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness. Sara Scalia, how do you do?
And now Bargesser on this Super Bowl Sunday almost had a pick 6. Stopped at the one. Now Bargesser shooting just 45% from the line this year, but knocks down the first.
Yeah, I mean, her form is very unique. Shoots it a little bit from the side like Lonzo Ball. I don't know the best way to describe it. But
Purdue in a 2+ minute scoring drought. They throw it into Mila Reynolds going against Jordan Garzone. Nifty move.
Woo, put her in the spin cycle.
Indiana again looking to go quickly. Scalia down to the block with Holmes. Holmes, nice find to Bargesser. Bargesser trying to find the glass. He does.
And that's a phenomenal cut.
Janae Terry to Abby Ellis. She swarmed right back to Terry. 3 on the shot clock. Terry just throws it into no man's land.
This is a Purdue team that turns it over just over 15 times a game, and Indiana typically forces just around that same mark, so we've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of them today.
Right down Broadway goes Moore-McNeil. She did not finish, however, and that is how this half ends. Indiana. So Indiana controls the ball to begin half number 2 from Assembly Hall. Moore-McNeil stuck with it at the elbow. Her and Holmes play catch. Now to Bargesser. And she double dribbled. That's not a pretty possession for Indiana to come out of the break.
Yeah, just their 5th turnover of the game. And it looked like Bargesser maybe was thinking about dishing that one off, but once she saw the passing lanes closed, put her dribble back down, and that one will cost them.
Janae Terry has it at the elbow for Purdue on the back cut. It's Layden, and Madison Layden overshoots it. She just kind of got stuck behind or under the basket. So both teams come up empty on their first possession of the third quarter. Now Indiana will try to score, but it's going to be a turnover. Janae Terry comes away with it for Purdue. Down low, Layden rolls off. 2 shots, 2 layups for Layden, both missing the mark. Indiana, 2 turnovers to start the half, but now they'll put a shot up, and Scalia drills it.
I mean, it's ridiculous that you've got a 4-on-2 break and your first instinct is for the wing 3 from Scalia, but at the rate she shoots that shot, especially when she's point blank wide open, why not go for 3?
It's her 3rd triple today. She leads all scorers with 14 points as Caitlin Harper responds on the other end. As Abby Ellis kind of fell asleep on Scalia, and she caught a break there, Joe.
That stopped me. I mean, I'm in disbelief seeing Scalia left that wide open, but Boilermakers catch a big break right there.
Mary Ashley Stevenson goes right up and through the body of Garzone.
The New Yorker already averaging 10 and 5 so far this season, and it's really seemed like she's just started to pick it up more and more as the season's gone along. It's a big reason why she leads the Big Ten in freshmen in both scoring and boards.
She now has 12 points. That free throw was the first miss she's had today, as she's made all 5 of her shots from the field. Garzone has it for the Hoosiers. Now to Lexus Bargesser. Holmes weaves over to Moore-McNeil. Back to Holmes. Layup. Too strong. She gets it right back and puts it through with her left hand.
And no enthusiasm whatsoever after the and-one finish.
Mary Ashley Stevenson. And she's not the happiest camper with Tim Daly right now. But her team comes up with another steal. Up ahead to Mackenzie Holmes. Broad daylight. Room service for Mackenzie Holmes.
What's the expression, Zion? Is it ball don't lie?
There it is. And Terry Moore with the timeout. Madison Layden has it for Purdue out of the timeout. Good contest by Sara Scalia to force the miss. It's Purdue facing their largest deficit of the afternoon. Holmes whips it to Bargesser. Up top to Moore-McNeil. Hands to Scalia, 10 on the clock. Scalia, a sidestep tray, another one.
Now 4 for 8. She's just starting to cook on the outside, having her way.
She gets a round of applause as she heads to the bench. Meanwhile, Sophie Swanson can't nail the mid-range jumper. Bargesser up to Moore-McNeil. She sets her feet, and she does just as Scalia did.
And Moore-McNeil's having a night from downtown as well. That's her third triple.
Layden has it for Purdue. Indiana switches, and so she goes straight to Harper, who is fouled
very early into the shot clock. It almost feels like a 7-second offense.
The Hoosiers today, 8 of 14. It's one of the best shooting teams in the country. As Harper goes 2 of 2, she's up to 11 points. Now the Boilers show a press, something the Hoosiers struggled with against Ohio State a week ago today, but they did a much better job versus Michigan State here on Thursday.
Yeah, those turnovers against Ohio State was really what lost them that game. I mean, you look at the turnover margin and the third quarter scoring differential. Oh, my goodness, Moore-McNeil.
Joe, is there a magnet on this hoop right now? The Hoosiers cannot miss from beyond the arc.
And Moore-McNeil continues the perfection. That one felt like a heat check because she was perfect from the perimeter and continues it.
Now up to a 22-point edge for IU.
But as you're saying about that Ohio State game, 23 turnovers, it's tough to win any kind of game like that. And then Michigan State comes back with the similar kind of press that Ohio State was giving them the game before, and Indiana only had 10 turnovers last game. So without a doubt, that was something that the Hoosiers and Terry Moore had focused on and fixed pretty quickly.
Renee Beaumont has it for the Hoosiers up to Jules Lamandola. Freshman connection. Now a handoff to Bargesser. Now the seniors connect. Moore-McNeil going to try another one. Oh, my goodness.
It's a Moore-McNeil masterclass. It's starting to rain here in the hall, Zion.
Chloe Moore-McNeil, 19 points. Has not missed the three today. 3 threes made in a row here in this third quarter.
7 of 10 from the floor. A perfect 5 for 5 from downtown. I mean, she let 3 straight triples fly on 3 straight possessions and knocked them all down with no problem, and all coming from the exact same spot on the floor.
So Purdue is at the free throw line in the bonus now after that last foul. Down low, it's Mackenzie Holmes. She's got 11, met at the apex by Jayla Smith. Terrific defense by Smith, and Purdue comes away with it.
And I'm honestly surprised that one wasn't a tie-up. It looked like for a second they both had it in the air at the same time.
Sandvik blocked up top rather, and Rashonda Jones comes down the other end for Purdue. Jones step back midi, short, and it's rebounded by Lamandola. As Moore-McNeil again gets down the middle of the lane, scores again. She's up to 21 points, and Amanda has more on Chloe Moore-McNeil.
Well, thanks, Zion. You're absolutely right. And Terry Morin has talked about how Chloe Moore-McNeil has had to be so patient in her time here at Indiana, really put the work in and trust the process. We're seeing how that's worked out for her already, and Morin is also hoping that transfers down to the freshmen like Lene Beaumont and Juliana Lamandola, being able to see somebody who just puts in the work each day at practice, and it finally comes through on the court with her triple-double, and tonight once again, guys.
Chloe Moore-McNeil with a 12-point third quarter. She scored more than Purdue has in this period. And the Hoosiers now up by 24.
I mean, 3 threes, and then she gets a three-pointer the old-fashioned way.
Layden gets knocked down by Yarden Garzone.
This Indiana team had so many different scores that can give you 20 on any given night. I mean, right now, Indiana with Moore-McNeil at 22. You've got Scalia at 17. I mean, the ability for Garzone to score. We've seen Parrish do it multiple times this season. And, of course, the All-American Holmes. It just makes Indiana so difficult to defend, and that's ideally what you need to drop in order to get back into this ball game, but you can't really fade away from it. I mean, all you're looking for is just points, and when you've got an open look, you can't pass it up.
LeMay Beaumont on the other end sinks the runner, and it's now 24 points. The lead for IU. Janae Terry on the other end. Quick responds with the J.
Yeah, same idea as the last possession Purdue just had. This time, she just takes a couple steps in, makes the shot a little bit easier, able to sink it.
Bargesser helps IU beat the press and gets fouled right at the hoop.
Nonetheless, still able to earn a trip to the free throw line.
Unable to convert on the first free throw. Bargesser does have 8 points today to go with 5 boards and 3 dimes.
She's just looked so much more comfortable and fluid this season after having that knee brace on all freshman year. Can provide a lot of energy. I mean, she really does it all for you.
Mila Reynolds has it down low for Purdue.
More to come here from Reynolds.
Reynolds will shoot the 8th and 9th free throws of the afternoon.
Yeah, last season reached the Elite 8 with that Terp squad. Bringing over a good veteran presence with some tournament experience.
And she played with teammate Rashonda Jones at South Bend, Washington in high school. On the other end, Lamondola buries one for the Hoosiers.
Freshmen are starting to get involved here. First we see Beaumont. Oh, and a great steal there.
Up ahead, Scalia lays it through.
Indiana's starting to rack up the steals, Zion. That's the 8th steal so far today for the Hoosiers.
Janae Terry stops for the 14-footer, left it short, and Indiana, the coaching staff wants to hold for one, and Sara Scalia realizes it once she gets the ball in her hands. Bargesser, I don't think, knew at first. She was wanting to push again. Shot clock off. Bargesser behind the back, fade away, falls short. Ellis heaves one for Purdue, and that is how the third quarter will end. Indiana ahead by 26.
And then this is an Indiana team that's still really searching for that first major marquee win. I mean, you got a good one against Tennessee away from home, but Indiana's taking care of business on their home floor, still undefeated here in Assembly Hall, but you know, you drop one to Stanford on the road, Ohio State on the road, and the Hawkeyes on the road. That's the only thing that leaves a big question mark about what's to come in postseason play for Terry Morin's squad.
And they're looking to potentially repeat or at least get a share of that title again this season.
And it's an Indiana team that brings back so much talent from a year ago. It's been a big committee by making up in terms of what you lost from last year, and Indiana's done a phenomenal job throughout the season.
Holmes after the foul knocks down both. Purdue will inbound. Foul call on Jules Lamondola. They get it in for a moment to Layden, but she pulls it back out. Layden out the Big Ten logo. Layden straight to the rack. Can't hit it over Sara Scalia.
And now Indiana's got numbers for 4 on 5.
Lamondola thought about the trade, but will fire into Mackenzie Holmes. Left-handed Holmes shot. Drops. Terry into the corner. Swanson got it.
That's a big triple there from Purdue. You needed something to end this scoring drought and just get the wheels going in the right direction.
Back down to a 27-point game. Bargesser goes up and hits through the contact on Caitlin Harper. She'll have a chance for a three-point play. Great. And Mackenzie and Chloe Moore-McNeil, is in this huddle. I think she is telling all 5 players on the court to get the ball to Mackenzie Holmes on the next possession.
You think they're aware of the numbers?
Maybe a little bit. As Tyra Buss, who is at Indiana from 2014 to 2018, is number 1 as of right now. But Holmes fast approaching, 2 points away from taking that over. Meanwhile, Bargesser gets a three-point play. Bargesser, who has struggled mightily at the line, 4 for 5 today. She's got 12 points to go along with 8 boards. Ashley Stevenson takes the J and nails it. Moore-McNeil fires it in to LaMendola. Right back to Moore-McNeil. They'll set up the screen and roll. Over to Scalia. She'll try a three. Rattles out. Purdue comes away with it. Janae Terry pushing for Purdue. Down into Stevenson. Now it's Madison Layden. She tries another long two. This time she hits.
Ever since Holmes has gotten 1 point away, that offense has slowly started to calm down just a little bit, and Purdue's making up some ground.
Bargesser gets to the foul line. A lot of contact on Harper, no call. And the entire Indiana bench is irate. They did not want her to put that shot up. Stevenson open for a second down low. Now she's doubled. Fires it over to Swanson, and Swanson hits another three. So here comes IU out of the break. They feed it into Mackenzie Holmes. Holmes goes up and finishes. And Mackenzie Holmes is immortalized. 2,365 points, the most in the history of Indiana women's basketball.
Yeah, that's just such a great moment here in Assembly Hall to see Mackenzie Holmes become the all-time career-leading scorer for the Hoosiers. And she does it on a night with over 13,000 fans in attendance. The third largest regular season attended game here to celebrate Mackenzie Holmes.
Their teammates embrace her, and this fan base, they all knew it. They were ready to go crazy when Holmes got that bucket as Swanson swats Sara Scalia on the left side. Man, that was vicious. Right into the lap of Terry Morin, too.
A great heads-up play there from assistant coach Rhett, just able to snag onto it.
Indiana still ahead by 25 on their way to the 11th straight win over Purdue. Garzone piles it on, and Terry Morin quickly calls timeout.
It looks like they're going to bring on Meister to give Holmes a nice round of applause.
As this building emotional, they've watched Mackenzie Holmes through all 5 seasons here. They've watched her grow from coming off the bench to start her career, and now to being the leading scorer in program history. She's dealt with quite a few injuries on her left knee. Specifically 2 years ago, she has passed Tyra Buss. And Holmes, possibly the best player this program has seen, and now the numbers show that.
Well, it just goes to show, just like her brother Cam told us and Amanda earlier today, if you do things the right way, good things happen to you.
Holmes, a very vocal leader, very emotional, as her backup, Willie Meister, gets into the action as well.
Yeah, there's the successor. After the graduate student, Holmes will eventually move on to most likely the WNBA.
Swanson fires again. She almost got a friendly bounce there. Swanson has 11 points, and then a foul is called on Janae Terry.
Yeah, the way Swanson's been shooting the ball here in the fourth quarter, you'd think she'd get the shooter's touch. Just can't get the roll that time, as this one starting to look like it's going to be a little bit out of reach for the Boilermakers, Zion.
Assuming that is it for Mackenzie Holmes today, she finishes with 17 points. Garzone comes out of the game with 9. So does Chloe Moore-McNeil, who has led all scorers with 22, 5, and 5 today.
I mean, for the second straight game, well, they were 1 point away from having all 5 starters in double figures. Just one more needed from Garzone, but it just goes to show you not only how you have so many different girls that can score the basketball at such an efficient level, but the ball movement that's just instilled in Terry Morin's basketball team.
LaMendola to the hoop. And now the youngsters are really getting involved in the action too, Joe.
Yeah, and it's so great to see the youngsters really start to flourish here for Indiana, especially Beaumont and LaMendola. You've just seen them grow as the season's gone on. They both had season highs just a week ago or 2 weeks ago in that Northwestern game. As we get an offensive foul here.
It's Chiefs, it's 49ers. It's a huge one.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's the second time we've seen these two teams square off in the last 4 years. Obviously, the Niners coming into it as favorites, but that guy at quarterback for Kansas City is a tough guy to root against, a tough guy to stop.
And Purdue head coach Katie Gerald's a huge Chiefs fan.
Well known, of course, at Purdue, and unfortunately for Indiana fans, I think they remember the havoc he used to wreak every single season. There's a nice coast-to-coast move. Are they going to count that one?
Look, I think it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I really do. I mean, he's the best quarterback in the world by a wide margin. I think it's hard to really predict against him. I would say that much. So they reversed the foul. It was on the floor. They had a bit of a zebra conference and corrected the call. As with 90 seconds left, the Hoosiers have 90, leading by 30.
Yeah, and this will be a tough loss for Purdue. Obviously a tough one to swallow after you come off, the first win that you were able to have
lost to Purdue as members of the Hoosiers. Of course, Sara Scalia played the first 3 years of her career at Minnesota, so she has played them in another uniform. But as IU players, all these players are winless, or are spotless, I should say, against Purdue. LaMendola tries a 3. Her hot night continues. She has 8 points and has made all 3 of her field goals.
Yeah, Indiana, even with the starters, besides Bargesser on the floor, still 6 of their last 6 field goal attempts.
Career high night for Jules LaMendola as the layup rolls home for Jayla Smith, and Indiana can dribble it out now with this 33-point win over their arch rival.
Yeah, this will be a good one for Indiana. Obviously, the score margin speaks for itself. They were dominant on both ends of the floor, really cleaned things up defensively after that last game, allowing Michigan State to score 91. But obviously all eyes on the big man, Mackenzie Holmes.